The weekend is for watching your favorite teams and for figuring out really what to do with yourself, rest and get in the groove for the working week. For Liverpool fans, it was a good Premier League weekend. For Manchester United fans, dire days are ahead. It's an injury crisis at the club. For Chelsea fans, they are asking themselves so many questions at this point in the season. Manchester City, though, had some respite from the poor form that they've endured in recent times. In other leagues, it was Real Madrid struggling again and Jude Bellingham seeing red. There's a lot to chew on today's show. Let's do a quick turnaround. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest and we'll start talking. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Benjamin Iketia. You have the text and WhatsApp lines there on your screen. So let me know where you're texting us from. Let me know what's on your mind as far as your team is concerned. Let me know what you're thinking about as far as the sporting week is concerned. My two good friends are here, Susu Graham and Coach Christopher Nimley. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Let's talk about the sports week. A lot's happening locally, internationally, basketball, football, boxing. A lot going on. What's been your pick of the lot?
I think it's more interesting that it's NBA All-Star Weekend and it's not as much of a discussion. I think it shows that the NBA, their media relevancy and the eyeballs on the league are declining. I think they need to do a better job of marketing it. And
All-Star Weekend is on live support, I agree.
Yeah, so that's very disappointing because usually All-Star Weekend, the dunk contest happens, 3-point contest. A lot of things are happening, but yeah, the buzz is not really there.
I want to see Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant. Like, I want to see Zion, like the big stars at the slam dunk contest.
Well, no one wants to embarrass themselves. I think that's part of it. No one wants to go and you get a 30 on a dunk and some no name. Because the guy who's won the dunk contest, he's a two-way player.
Yep.
He's a
two-way plays player. In the G League.
Yeah, a two-way player. So it just shows that the athleticism, people have it. So they need to kind of, the top players need to make it, like, it will give more buzz to it, to be honest. Because the guy's dunks are super impressive, but because he's not well known, it's going under the radar for sure.
Yeah, so for me, the highlight of the week is actually when Honorable Kofi Adams visited Menchia. I listened to the great king, and he was so spot on and so precise in his words. He told Honorable that the disgrace, I'm paraphrasing, because this is an English program. I cannot say it directly as he spoke, because he spoke in our local dialect. He said, Kofi, now that you are the sports minister, make sure the Black Stars of Ghana return back to its glory days. He then said, the disgrace and embarrassment that the Black Stars has brought to the people of this country is unforgiven. He then said, Kofi, make sure that we get a proper coach and the selection of players into our national team should be proper. You get here? Not knowing there are some big men, and look, it couldn't have been said by anybody else but the great king.
The president has said that they should start from the FA.
Look,
the great king has said that they should work on the Black Stars.
They said work on that. The disgrace that the Black Stars has brought to us is so. I wish I could say it in Twi because that would make it sound properly. But like I said, this is an English program. I cannot do that. But look, Kofi, the ball is in your court. Honorable Kofi Adams, the ball is in your court. I have personally advised you to stop taking pictures and those things with those people. Don't be taking pictures with them because the closer you get to them,
the more likely you are to do that.
Already, Achi is on record to have criticized him. How can you be criticizing someone who has been in the office for only 5 days? Already, the FA people are talking.
They say he's talking too much.
Yes, me, I'm happy that they're saying that.
So the FA people are saying he's talking too much.
Yes.
They say he should get to work and stop
talking. But he has also laid out the agenda so we know what he's going to do.
See, they say he's gone to enough media houses, so he should get his hands dirty now.
He's not come to Citi FM, so he's not going to enough.
We've actually interviewed him. We went to his office to interview him.
I'm happy they are dancing along that line. We'll be here and we'll be watching.
Interesting days ahead. Coach setting the tone for the show. Let's start off with some good highlights, and let's start off with that game between Leicester City and Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal were expected to have a tricky game. Leicester have been not too great in the league, but they were expected to give Arsenal a stiff challenge. It was competitive for a while, and then the Gunners broke the game open. Let's get the highlights. So in the absence of natural finishers, Mikel Merino had to step up to do the business for Arsenal. Let me start with you, Susu. Merino was expected to play a big part in Arsenal's season. He's not really, how would I put it, become part of the first team like we expected, even in the face of injuries. He's been pretty good scoring crucial goals for them. Are you satisfied with the role he's playing, like given how he came into the season with Arsenal, his reputation and all of that?
Well, I think part of it is that Partey has been more available than you'd expect. I think this is one of the fittest Partey has been since, I think, his first season since he joined Arsenal. So if you buy Mikel Merino, I was thinking that knowing that Partey is not reliable, quote unquote, you expect Merino to come into the midfield because from what you know about Arsenal, the preferred midfield is Partey, Rice and Odegaard. But knowing that Partey can be relied upon, and Jorginho had to play a lot of minutes last season, and knowing that Jorginho is not the player he used to be, you expected Mikel Merino to be that kind of midfielder number 4, let me put it that way, in the hierarchy. And because of Partey's fitness, he'll get more games. So I think that's why he's not played as much. I don't think it's a question of his ability or his use. I just feel like the way things have played out, if you have Partey fit, you are not going to play Merino, you see. So I think that that's just worked against him. And yeah, so I think there are other signings too. Calafiori has had the same fate. I think Miles Lewis-Kelly has been way better than expected. He's a natural midfielder, but he's very comfortable at left back. He's looked very good. So Calafiori has been injured quite a bit. So when you're not as sharp and you have someone like Lewis-Kelly who's playing as well as he is, and he's as sharp as he is, you're not going to bench him to bring Calafiori in. So I think the fitness issues and certain players just becoming more prominent than you would expect. Because I don't think Miles Lewis-Kelly was expected to play a big role this season.
Nope.
But it's looking like now he's the starting left back. But I don't think that was the plan going into the season. Or why buy Calafiori? Why spend that money knowing you have your starting left back in your academy? So I think things just have played out differently. So it's made the signings look redundant. I don't think they are bad signings, but just that their role in the team is not going to be what you expect. But I do expect maybe Lewis-Kelly will move back into midfield, his natural position. So maybe Calafiori would get that run at left back we've been expecting. I think Partey's contract, we're not sure that it will be renewed. But if he's on the older side, so his minutes would decline. So between Lewis-Kelly and Merino, there's that place in midfield up for grabs. So I think some of these signings, their time will come, but I feel like for right now, you can understand why it looks like it's wasted money. But every player plays their role, and you can see the value of a player who can come on and get you those goals in those tight games. Because for Arsenal, who rely on set pieces, they cross a lot. That big aerial threat, especially considering Kai Havertz is injured, he could put a shift in the strike role and do something for the next few games whilst they wait for some players to come back. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, but it's definitely not what he expected to come and do when he was signed for sure.
Coach, what would you do if you are Mikel Arteta? All your strikers are injured. You needed Merino to come off the bench to get you 2 goals. Clearly, this is not sustainable. So how do you work around it? They started the game, I believe, with Trossard, Sterling, and then Nwaneri. Is this good enough to go forward with?
That is why they will not win the league. That is why they will definitely fall short. Because like you rightly said, this is not sustainable. Against a team like Leicester, that was a very bad goal to concede. I'm talking about the first one. We did a game on radio, and as to how there was only one natural target of Arsenal, Moreno. And the 3 Leicester City centre-back, none of them saw the need to get closer to him. That was so easy a header. He is that good in the air. We saw him in the Euros when his header knocked out the host nation, Germany. Eventually, Spain went
Scored multiple headers this season.
This season as well. So, against the solid opposition, he will not give you that proper in-box of the ball movement to bring others into the game. And we listened to him speak yesterday when he said that he's always told the Arsenal flanked players that when he's in the game, they should keep floating the ball.
He did say it in the post game.
Exactly. Against Leicester, it will work because Leicester themselves are so open and they will have to give so many chances away. But against the quality opposition, like a Liverpool, of course, like a Newcastle, like let's say a Man City or something like that, that Mourinho number 9 thing would just not work. And I'm afraid, but it is what it is. Arsenal as a team would not win the league because of the stubbornness of Mikel Arteta. Susu has just done a proper breakdown of the money spent on buying the Italian international. I think they still do have Zinchenko in the team.
Yeah.
There's Timber.
They're trying to offload him. Actually.
Yes, but there's Timber who can easily work.
They have Kivio, they have Ben White as well.
These guys could all deputize at what? Left back.
I think, to be fair, we say Kivio, Tomiyasu, and Timber. Let's do those 3.
Yeah. Yes. Ben White typically centre back, right back.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then if you add a young chap. So if you look at what Arsenal truly needed, they needed a proper number 9. Rather, you've danced around the issue. Force Kai Havertz, who is not a natural number 9, to play there. He's managed to do so. Now he's no more. How can a team like Arsenal don't have a proper replacement in the attacking sense? It's unforgivable.
Especially considering that Jesus tore his ACL.
Yes, it's completely unforgivable. And
they went into January knowing what they needed.
Arteta has spent a lot.
He has.
I looked at Kolumweni today playing for Juventus, and I asked myself, maybe the people at Arsenal, Arteta, he's sleeping.
Because that was a loan deal.
That was a loan deal. He showed, look.
The club, PSG were not using him.
All he needed to do was to show interest.
Yep. And I'm sure he would have been interested.
He just give them some few 6 million. How much did you pay for him?
Yeah.
£6 million. You can afford to use him and put a
I just want to say the attackers he's bought, Arteta, since he joined the club, Sterling, who's he brought in? Sterling, Willian, Marquinhos. I'm sure you remember Marquinhos.
Yeah, he brought
Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz. That's it. Those 6. And if you think about it, how many of them have made some impact?
Those are none.
I'm just about that. None. That's very questionable. Those are questionable choices.
How could you assemble all of these guys and not think about somebody
the midfield
who
and
is
defensive
naturally going to
signings have
finish?
been very good.
Yeah. So look, it's not about what I would have done. It's about what he now has at his disposal, and how does that allow him to work.
Yeah.
And I think obviously they are definitely going to fall short. Very soon, I think they'll be going to Anfield.
Yep.
I want to see that Mourinho Anfield thing against Van Dijk and Konate. See whether he will jump and head the ball into the net from such open play. It will just not happen. It will not happen.
Arsenal Football Club, they say that they still have a legit chance of winning the title. Mathematically, they do.
Of course they do. They are second in the league.
They are second. So it's a very open race as of now. They still have a second date with Liverpool. So we'll see how all of that plays out. Let's get to Liverpool themselves. They stumbled in midweek against Everton in the Merseyside derby, dropped 2 points in that game. They were up against Wolverhampton Wanderers this time. Let's see what they did. A game of 2 halves for Liverpool. Brilliant first half. Not such a second half to remember. Let me stay with you on this one, Coach. Very shaky second half from Liverpool, the kind that could easily have left them with the same results against Everton.
But this is what champions are made of. Even when they were not that dominant or they didn't play too well in that second half, they still find a way to protect their lead. If you are a manager, what truly matters from this moment onwards is the 3 points.
It doesn't matter how you get
I wouldn't care how I make my 3 points. But they are the pace setters. And truth be told, I have never seen the team dominate from start to finish. Start of the league to the end of the league. There will be some 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games where
your
you
level
expect.
will drop.
But if you really do want to be champions, these are the sort of games you have to be seen winning. And for me, they know what they are about. They are very focused. I think in the last 10 minutes where Wolverhampton actually came into it, really believing that they could score, you could see the composure in Van Dijk, McAllister. Today, for once, he introduced the Japanese international, and he was so very vital in protecting that lead.
I feel like he's been very unfairly treated.
Yes, he was so very vital in protecting that lead. On the part of Wolverhampton, where are they? 17th in the league?
Yeah, they're not.
They are
very
playing
close
for their
to the
lives.
relegation zone.
So such teams are very dangerous to play with.
Difficult to play.
Because they're already losing it. They have to sacrifice. They have to go for it or they get relegated. So as a coach, I expected that to happen. I expected that because in that first half, they got blew away. 2-0. Now, when they went into that dress, I know for sure that their manager will be telling them, look, we are going to relegation.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
There's nothing to lose.
There's nothing to lose. Go out there and put up a fight.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what they did. Tactically, they were very aggressive. They won every second ball. And that made it very difficult for Liverpool to go on the transition. Because if you look at Liverpool, most of their transitional play has come across when they win the second ball, and then pop, they hit the pass, and Salah and Co are off the mark. But in today's game, in that second half in particular, Wolverhampton tactically prevented them from pouncing on the second ball, rather got them to defend a bit more. But if you are on a slot and you are seeking to win the Carabao Cup, win the league, and even go that far, possibly win the Champions League, there are moments like this where you want to see how well your group can cope. And to me, they were very excellent in dealing with the pressure of Wolverhampton. This is what champions are actually made of.
Do you think that they can afford a drop in form, but somehow squeeze results in the next 12, 13 games to finish this title?
Oh, it's very possible. I mean, like Coach said, it's about the results, not the performances at this point, because we've seen the good performances.
Yeah, of course. And it is always within.
They have all their big games yet to come. I think they have City to come.
They have quite a few
There's
big
Chelsea
games
to come. I think there's Arsenal to come again.
Yes, but we look at Arsenal with their injury problems, lack of attackers.
I think all those games too are Anfield. You
Like,
can expect
I think, for example, the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
I don't see Arsenal winning that game. The best Arsenal gets is a draw. Just because when I look at their attackers, I like how Arsenal, in terms of their midfield, their defense, very solid, good goalkeeper. You don't expect them to concede silly goals. But where are the goals going to come from if not set pieces?
In fact, today they own the best defense in the league.
Yeah, and they've struggled to score set pieces against Liverpool, especially corners. This is something that is a statistical trend because they don't even get too many corners against Liverpool. So you look at Man City. I mean, they had a good result against Newcastle this weekend, but very surprising. And I think it helped that Nico Gonzalez had a good game. He came in. We didn't expect him to play. I didn't expect him to play. I thought it'd be Gundogan and Kovacic. So thinking about those two verses, but he added something to the midfield. But you don't know whether he's really going to be able to take the Anfield test, whether it's too early for him. So when I think, and Chelsea, we've spoken about Chelsea and their inconsistency all the time. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about their game. And I even said on Premier League preview that if they don't make top 4, I won't be surprised. In fact, I don't have them making top 4 because when I look at their defense and their goalkeepers, too many mistakes. And and look at someone like Cole Palmer now, he's been found out in the sense that everyone knows he's the man. So there's more focus on him. So it's harder for him to influence games. You have Nicholas Jackson injured. Nkunku is not doing anything. So some of these games that we see are hard games. On paper, yes. But when you actually delve into it, you look at the
dynamics of
every game. Chelsea like this might play good for 80 minutes. Maybe even take a 1-goal lead. But because of the way their defense is, Salah will just get one chance, bang. That's it. They've lost the game, 1-1. And then they lose confidence, he scores again. City, we know that they're up and down. Arsenal, right now, they are very toothless because there's no attackers. You can't coach an attack without attacking players. That one day, there's nothing Arteta can do. So I think based on the fixtures, the injury situation of the other teams, I think Liverpool will be very fine. Like we said, Arsenal still have a chance on paper. There's still a very good chance that if things go wrong, maybe something can happen. But things have to go very wrong for Liverpool. And considering where Arsenal are in terms of personnel, I don't even know if they'll be able to take advantage. So I think I would say Liverpool about 90% there. Of course, there's a chance because it's football, but they are 90% there for sure.
Liverpool Football Club look like they have their destiny in their own hands. Let's get to our first tactical analysis game. This game was at the Amex between Brighton and Hove Albion and Chelsea. Now, Brighton had been on the back of a few bad results coming in. They had not been doing too well in 2025. Some way, somehow, Chelsea managed to be even worse than Brighton and were completely torn apart when this game happened. Let's get the highlights. Yes, so Chelsea Football Club losing really badly. Let's take you to the tactical board and let's see what Coach has for us. Coach, what's going on here?
A lot. I don't know, but if you are at Chelsea and you played against Brighton in midweek, or was it last week?
Yeah, it was like, I think Sunday to Friday.
Yeah, that's right. And that was in the FA Cup.
Yes.
And then at the same venue, the same opponent,
Yep.
and you lost. One would have thought that coming into this game, the players from the technical team down to the playing body, there has to be a clear intent. This is not going to repeat itself. But shockingly, the entire Chelsea team, lackluster, very sluggish, lack of proper competition. And for me, I sincerely don't think that they were ready for the game, and that is why they lost the game again. Now, if you watch this, this is the first goal scored by Karl Mitoma. Perfect control, beautiful. But the tactical problem here had to do with Chelsea. And in my view, that Chelsea team, the lack of proper defending on the part of not only, see, most people are highlighting Chalobah, but you see that if I play this again and get it to roll, my interest is Malo Gusto. If you look at what is happening here, it is actually a 2v1 situation. A 2v1 situation. Two Chelsea players and Karl Mitoma.
Yeah.
Mitoma is tactically in the middle of the two of them. So one would have thought that they have him under control. The problem here is not with Chalobah. The problem here...
So this is Chalobah, I believe.
This is Chalobah.
Okay.
The problem here is with
Malo
Malo
Gusto.
Gusto. If he had continued running, if he had continued his movement, he would have come to the aid of Chalobah. When you roll this and get it go, watch him. He's virtually watching. If the tenacity with which he was running was to help his defensive partner, there was no way this would have been a 1v1 situation. He would have at least, now on the blind side of Mitoma, if he had continued his run,
At least cover him.
cover him there. He would have covered it, but he didn't do it. He kept watching the situation. But look, truth be told, the control by Karl Mitoma,
He's one of the best one-on-one
World-class.
dribblers in the league.
top world class. We are used to seeing Messi, Ronaldo, and then those days Andre Pirlo, Zinedine. That was a Zidane-like touch, proper Zinedine
Very
Zidane.
high praise.
Yes, Zidane-like touch because he kept his eye on the ball, and you can see him controlling the ball into his path away from Chalobah.
When you are running, that is one of the most difficult things
technique.
to do.
And I used to. I mean, we need to see Zinedine Zidane
Do it.
That was
Yeah.
his, that was his signature.
That was his
True.
signature on the
Just
move.
calm the ball
Come
down when it
from
looks
the
like,
air, and then passed it. And then once he did that, look at it. He knew here again, he has seen the arc. He didn't look at the goalkeeper. The moment, if you are a young striker and you are developing yourself and want to be top notch, I've always said that the arc, that is the half circle in front of the 18-yard ball, that is where the goal pole is. That is actually the goal pole. So once you see that, you've seen the goal, and if you can pick your spot, hit it hard, you score.
going in.
And that, look, absolutely brilliant. I like watching this. I could watch this over and look at the touch.
No, that first half
is
is
gone.
crazy. Because
It's gone.
to be in between two players and to
Touch.
take that down,
Bam,
man.
away from him, bang into the back of the net. This is a proper goal. Again, Chelsea, we all thought is 1-0. They will come back to it. And then they did the shocking sort of defending again on the second goal. Look at here. At this stage, there was no problem. But the problem was always Cucurella not paying attention to Mente.
Yep.
I hope that's the name.
Yeah, Mente.
Mente. Not paying attention to it. But at this stage, if you keep changing your defensive setup, there's always lack of communication.
Yep.
This is as a result of lack of communication. So let's roll this again. Now, if you pause it here, look at the Chelsea team. I spoke about Cucurella again, still not paying
Completely losing his
attention
mind.
to Mente. But at this stage, you don't blame him for not paying attention to Mente because there's a Brighton player in front of him.
But coach, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How come the centre backs, no one of them is with Welbeck?
I'm coming with that. I'm coming to that. This is 1, 2, these two. Touch again. These two Chelsea centre backs. Just a minute.
Yeah.
These two Chelsea centre back. That is Cowell and again Chalobah.
yeah.
They just started playing together. When Chalobah got recalled from his loan at what? Crystal Palace. So there's lack of proper chemistry, Lack of chemistry means lack of communication, lack of organization, lack of a lot of basic defensive principles. You will not get that if they don't play or if they'll not be playing together for some time. So when you roll this, look at that. Beautiful by Mente, bang into the back of the net. Another thing that you are told to do at times, which the Brighton player did very well, was the fact that once he dummied Malagusto, it was shot across. What defenders don't like doing is having the ball in between they themselves and their goalpost. And you see that Cowell here nearly considered an own goal. If you play that, he nearly considered an own goal. Everybody in the Chelsea setup in 6s and 7s, they had numbers. There were as many as 7 Chelsea players in the box. I felt if they had a proper leader, proper defensive organization, they should have dealt with that. Again, on the third goal.
And just to add to that, I think Cole struggled because he's left-footed.
Yes.
So in trying to clear with his right, he couldn't
He
get power on it. Yeah,
he had to turn at an awkward
which is why it's almost like it was very little power straight at the keeper.
And the keeper did well actually to have blocked that. Now on the second, which is the third goal, they considered 3. 3-0. Wow. That was
you see, I was just talking about Chelsea's defense just before we started.
They considered 3.
The defense is just
again, look at here. Now look at Chilwell here. Cowell. He's very tired. I mean, I don't know. You see, last week when I demonstrated the work, people thought I was being over exaggerated. But look at that. That is a tired pass. Look. To whom? Playing the ball and falling down at the same time. Look at him. And when he did that, look at how long it took him to wake up. Just watch. Look, he's completely, look, he's sleeping. Look. You can clearly see
the
that.
action has just bypassed him.
Completely out of position. And look, he's now jogging back. You are out of position. This is actually your zone. This is your zone. No, let me use this. This is actually, because you see, he's left. You see the gap here? If he was there, he would have been in that gap. So now the Chelsea players now don't know what to do because
these 2 guys are players occupying them, and there's a third guy on the back.
3. So if you look at that, Brighton have got numbers. So they were just waiting for the pass. But look, Danny Welbeck, very calm, very composed in the box. Years of experience. This is a player who's played for United, he's played for Arsenal, he's played for Watford. So a lot of Premier League experience. Look at the 1-2 between he and Minter. He touched and he waited. Again, I have a problem with Cucurella here. He was by far the best left back in the Euros. Nobody takes that away from him.
Even the first half of the season, he was
doing extremely very, very well. But as you see, when you are a fullback, he's playing against a left-footed player. Force him onto the bar line. Minter is looking for the slightest opportunity to come onto his left foot. So what he
had done it once already.
And he scored in the first goal. So push him, let him go to the byline, force him to use his right foot. Cucurella didn't do that. Once he came onto that left foot, it's back. But look at the recovery of Chilwell. Look, he's now coming. Look, he's jogging. Look. Very tired.
Oh, my.
Very, very tired. In 6s and in 7s. And look, yes, Mr. Todd Bowley has got money. He spent good money. But on the face of what we are watching, he needs to keep spending good money. And my simple advice to them, the too many purchase of young players is enough. This Chelsea team is crying for leaders now. So yes, you've given them a foundation for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Go into the market
and find some veterans.
Get 2, 3 guys at the age of 27, 26, 27, 28 and come and plant them in the midst of these young guys. I think they'll do wonderful things.
Coach, I'm glad you said that because Joe Cole also was in
the he's also said that.
He said the same thing.
There are too many youngsters.
He learned more when he was playing with the experienced players. Because you're on the pitch, there's some things that you can't learn. Just
somebody
like that.
Will have to tell you.
Playing with some people teaches you something.
Exactly.
And I think, truth be told, because they have problem positions as in goalkeeper and centre back, buy a keeper in his prime, buy 2 centre backs in their prime, and just deal with it.
And then get
because
a proper
it's not everybody that has resale value. It's not every day that's business. Every day that's on a spreadsheet.
Like that. True.
Because at this point, the centre backs they have, they're just not good enough.
Yes.
And you see,
and that's one area they've spent a lot of money.
I see Levi Cole being played all the time. They say he's from Coba.
I don't trust him.
The guy is not good.
He's not good.
No, seriously.
He's not.
I like when you're this blatantly.
No, he's just not good.
No, we've watched Chelsea centre backs before. Who have we not seen play for Chelsea?
We've watched Carvalho and
Terry, Cahill.
And for him,
Ivanovic.
he was loaned out to Brighton. You remember some few seasons
Exactly,
back.
actually.
So he's got problems. So one would have expected that.
When you come back, with some
show
leadership.
some
You
dominance.
come
You
back
get
with some.
Rudiger, Thiago Silva. We've seen centre back, so we know what Chelsea quality is in that position. In
exactly.
fact, that's been one of the positions that Chelsea have always had good players.
Exactly.
True.
So for them to now go and it's like Cole was supposed to be the leader in defense, see when the captain's armband and he's such a poor defender, it doesn't speak to the culture that we've seen Chelsea build over the last 20 years.
all.
It really doesn't. So Cole needs to improve or he needs to be put on the bench because what he's doing right now is not good enough at all.
Chelsea Football Club need to go out and spend on veterans that can help their youngsters. That's according to my people in the studio. Let's take our first break here on the show. When we come back, we have more highlights for you. We have one more tactical breakdown, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us here on Scorecard. Back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV show, proudly brought to us by Soccerbet, your number one destination if you want to place your bets on your favorite teams out there. Look nowhere but Soccerbet. Let's move on to more highlights. Two desperate teams in the bottom half of the table. Injury-riddled Tottenham Hotspur versus injury-riddled Manchester United. Let's see how it played out. Man United losing what was a crucial game for them. Let me start to you on this one, Susu. The talk about Man United is that their team is depleted. It's been hit by injuries, and there's nowhere to look. You looked at the United bench today, and it was laughable. How do they get out of this quagmire? Because this does not look like a problem that's going anywhere anytime soon. Amad Diallo, for those of you who have not heard, is out for the season.
Yeah, there's no getting out of it actually. They're just going to suffer. But like we said on radio, that look, if you look at the teams below them, because the thing about relegation is it's not about being bad. It's about whether the teams below you are worse. Look at a team like Southampton. Southampton are not catching Manchester United.
Yeah.
Leicester, they are not good. They are poor. They don't score. So when you look at the teams around them, Ipswich, I just don't think their players are good enough for the Premier League. No disrespect to them, because I think they are the most interesting of those sides. They tried their hardest, but we saw them against Aston Villa with 10 men. We saw the fights they put up. Yeah. But sometimes you just don't have players who are good enough. So I don't think Man U are in danger of getting relegated. But they are playing, but their form under Amorim has been relegation form. He's been manager for 12 games and they've won 3 and drawn 1. Yes, in the Premier League. So things have not gone well.
3 wins?
Yes, 3 wins, 1 draw, and
goodness,
8 defeats.
Yeah. No, this is we have to say plainly as it is, that they are in relegation form. But luckily, they are not going to go down. And I think for Man U, you can say that even though it's a transition season, there's opportunity missed. Because when Ten Hag was sacked, they were 4 points off top 4. So there was a chance to do something.
The season was still alive.
The season was alive. You could have made a push for Europe. But it's not gone that way. And it's very unfortunate. But I think everyone has accepted it's a transition season. And I think Ineos have put their credibility on the line by giving Ten Hag the job. So they don't even want to sack him.
By Amorim, you mean?
Amorim, sorry. Yeah. They don't even want to sack him. But it's been very poor. And with the injuries, it won't get better. Because at the very least, when things are not going well, you want to have as many players available to be able to make choices, make decisions. But even when you have players injured, you are going to see players playing in positions they shouldn't be playing in.
True. And
players trying to do things they're not supposed to do. We've spoken about Casemiro and how poor he is, for example. When I see Casemiro in the Manchester United midfield, and I look at the game they're about to play, whoever they are playing, in my head, they're already a goal down. I think Casemiro has declined to the point that you can't trust him to play a full game. And he played did he play 90 minutes today?
Almost 90.
Yeah, he played most of the game. I think he came on very late. We're in a situation where Casemiro, who, if you remember from last season, we saw him being turned over by some midfielders who, in his prime, couldn't even step on the pitch with him, making him look ordinary. So I think where Man U are with the ill fit of the squad and the manager's system, the number of injuries, there's more pain to come. The pain is not going to stop. I think what will bring the end to the pain is the end of the season in May, and everyone can go home. So, truth be told, Man U fans should just prepare for the worst.
That's such a gloomy picture.
No, they won't go down, but we should be honest about it, because it looks like the players and the system is just not working.
Not a good fit.
And then the injuries are making it even worse. So I think there's a lot of pain to come.
Coach, Gary Neville said something. He said that United believe in Amorim, but for this to be a fruitful marriage, there has to be wins for the players, for the fan base, for the management, and everybody involved. Regardless of the circumstances, there has to be some winning in the team to keep belief alive. How does he balance that in the face of the crisis we are in? Because you are not going to get relegated, but United fans clearly don't want to be 16th or 15th at the end of the season.
No, but this is a clear indication of somebody who's not being truthful with the facts and being honest with
You mean Gary?
Yeah, I mean Gary Neville. In that Man United team, I said something today on radio. You have close to 9-10 players who are just there and they are taking free money. Amorim walks into this team. United registered close to 23 players, and then the rest are the academy boys to augment the team. Now, Lindelof, Johnny Evans, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw. As many as
you have like 8 or 9 of them.
Casemiro, Eriksen, all of them. Amorim, if Ugarte, Collier, and Menu had not gotten injured, the last time Amorim started Casemiro was 2.5 months ago. He's one of the highest earners in the team. The manager has said that they are just not good enough. For me, I like him so much because he will not bend his look. The very moment he moved away from that back three, he's finished. His days at Man United seriously numbered. Rather, one would have thought that Gary Neville, who is being paid by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, will be sincere with the truth and say it as it is. You bought this manager. He walks into the team, he says, look, these are not my... He's told them these are not the type of players I want. And I told you from day one, I'm not going to change my system. You give me
what you hired me because of the system I played.
That's it. When Liverpool went to him, Liverpool realized that he was not going to bend. And they said, no, we've not built a team to play a back three. So Liverpool moved away from him. You have gone to the man and he's told you, this is what I'm going to do. I'm happy he stuck to that. Because, and I'm happy he came this early. Because if you are a Man United, you should be thinking long term. The long term means that he's using this season to properly assess the team. Anybody who is not ready to fit into that system will have to. So when you listen to Gary Neville and the way he speaks, he's been paid by Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
He is on the team's payroll.
Yes,
he's on
Ratcliffe
an advisory position.
Every month he collects his pay. He should rather be telling Sir Jim Ratcliffe when he go for his board meeting or whichever meeting that you promise to give this coach players. In January alone, Rashford is gone, rightfully so. Anthony is gone, rightfully so. Malacia is gone, rightfully so. You could only bring who? Dogo. United today are crying over what? Fair play. Is that what
Financial fair play?
Financial fair play. United,
profit and sustainability.
the richest team in the world, is crying under Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
They say there's more redundancy on the way. They are planning on laying off
you are
about
sacking
200
people
more people
who are taking £500 a month. You are sacking them. Gary Neville is behaving like a hypocrite. He's not being, look,
I'm sure
honest.
Gary Neville's money can pay for
I'm telling
five
you,
of those people.
Gary Neville, the money you are earning at United, you should.
In fact, they have 7 more days to make a decision on whether to lay off the extra 200 people.
There you go. There you go. United.
I'll be very honest. Football clubs should not be laying off ground staff.
How do you sack such people?
Because you have players who are making hundreds of thousands of pounds a week.
You cannot.
And like coach is saying,
you cannot sack Gary Neville.
A week guy.
Look, you cannot sack John Evans. Luke Shaw is 190,000 pounds. You cannot sack them. They are just there collecting money.
I'm not coming here to say players don't deserve their money. Sorry to cut you off, coach. But compared to the people who work.
That is what we are saying.
Some of these people have been at the club 20, 30 years.
It's very distasteful. I understand you want to save money, but...
how do you save money like that? There are people on the payroll, they are not doing any work. Casemiro is refusing to leave the team. If Man United had a better owner, you pay him off, you get rid of him, and bring in somebody good. Luke Shaw. Have you ever heard them mention Luke Shaw? When Anthony Martial was injured, Gary Neville, Martial is not English, he's French.
Yeah.
Gary Neville was the first person, together with Paul Scholes and all the United legends, they will criticize match. Today, Messi Mount cannot even play 3 games.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them mention him?
About.
Luke Shaw cannot even.
In fact, nobody has talked about
years.
how Messi Mount has been a big financial burden for
Exactly. In 2 years, believe you me, if this had been any other player from any other country, Neville will be highlighting the player. So for me, when you listen to the people like Gary Neville, it is sad because if you say you are true and true Manchester United, you should be looking Sir Jim Ratcliffe in the face and look, you should have left this team for Atani to sack the Glazers. He connived with the Glazers to keep the Glazers in charge of the team. Today, United, the richest team in the world, is crying over financial fair play. You can't buy players. So it's not about Amorim. For Amorim, my last point, the day he tweaked to accommodate the players, that would be the beginning of his end. We've seen Ten Hag bend to accommodate them after a season they sold him. He should stick to his ground and challenge the owners of the club to bring him his players. During this transfer window, he said this team has made so many mistakes in the transfer window. Under him, it will not happen. He will only bring in players that suit his system. Today is the first day Dog will play his first Premier League game.
Yep.
Truth be told, he was decent. He understands the system. He will work. So allow the coach to do his work. And like Susu said, there'll be more suffering. There'll be more pain. United will not get relegated. But look, I said something today on radio. I'm going to say it here. 2 seasons from now, under this coach, I'll come and dance Apiki here in a different way.
That's quite the prophecy.
Coach gave what's the word? A caveat.
This season is out.
Okay.
Coach gave a caveat.
Next season, the following season, on condition that the Glazers
Give
and Ineos buys this man
his players,
the players that fit his system.
So we've agreed that United. August 2026, we'll ask
God
coach
will,
whether they
be alive.
Will have the right players. And
Yes.
if coach says they have the right players,
Then we are going for the league
we are
title.
waiting for it.
I like that. Anyway, let's get to our second tactical breakdown game. And it was between Manchester City Football Club and Newcastle. Rightly, a lot of people expected Newcastle to be a tough nut for Manchester City to crack. Manchester City had just come off a defeat in the Champions League, very painful one at the hands of Real Madrid. And so they had a lot to play for, and that's exactly what they did. So it was the Omar Mamouche show, and I really wanted to hear what Pep was telling Eddie Howe. Pep always has something to say in terms of advice when he beats you, but never has anything to say when he loses a game.
Don't mind him.
Anyway,
look, we all thought this game would be keenly contested.
Yep.
It would be tighter because of what we've seen of Man City of late and what we've seen of Newcastle of late. But truth be told, I was so disappointed in Newcastle and the quality of their defending. How many times have we not seen that anytime Ederson is in goal, and you tend to press Man City this high up the pitch with the ball at Ederson's feet, he will pick the long ball.
He's the best in the business.
We saw it against Chelsea, where the 2 goals they conceded was all as a result of a similar situation. So when you play this on, how on earth is that a 1v1 pass?
That was such
how
a
on
good
earth is such a 1v1?
Even,
but
I just want to point out something briefly. Even look at where Haaland is.
Yes.
He's one-on-one.
Yes.
So they were
you see, they had a lot of one-on-one situation. So now Ederson waited for the move. And like you rightly said, Trippier, who has lost some tremendous amount of pace, he's become terribly slow. Physically, he's declined. He doesn't fancy the physical battle. Look at the movement. Let me pause this there. Look. No, let me start from here. Come back a little bit. Come back. Good. Let's go.
I think it will just come again.
Here, stop it. You see, Mamouche was playing out wide. This is what you call a proper diagonal movement. His movement actually started from here. And Trippier, who was his direct marker, naturally will follow him. But the question is, where were the center backs? Look at them. Look at where they are. This is one of them. And then, I don't even see where the other centre back
Let me
is.
look and try and...
Where's the other centre back?
I think that's one person following back
Jesus
here.
Christ, this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
This
I think,
one?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. This is proper bad defending. Where were the centre backs?
I want to assume that that's him. Because I won't say that's
Yes.
Joe Willock, Tonali, and Gumarães.
Yes.
So it
There
must
they are.
be him. It must be him.
It is exactly him.
It must be him.
And I was asking myself, why
Or
would
maybe
you do
that's
that?
him at the right back zone. Maybe.
Why would you do that? Because at the end of the day, we've all known this goalkeeper, that he's one of the best when
At
the ball is
distributing, yeah.
at distributing the ball. So when he has the ball, is there the need to do the high press by all means or what? I don't get the coaching
It was a
here.
ridiculously high
I
press.
don't get the coaching. So if you are now pressing the ball, then stop him from giving the long ball.
Yeah.
But if you cannot stop him, he picks it up and you pay the price. And for me, I was happy for the Egyptian international. Mamouche, absolutely. Look, the ball bounced and the finish was absolutely sublime. He knew
Class.
exactly what he had to do,
Class finish.
and that was exactly what he did. Look, but the icing on the cake is actually his second goal.
Ah, I love that goal.
That is proper world-class goal. Look at Gundogan. Again, it was shocking to me because Newcastle having what? Tonali, Gumarães,
Yep.
and then Willock.
Willock.
Look at them. 1, 2,
You know,
And
and
Willock
then
is here.
3.
I think when I look at their shape, they were even trying to play with their back five. With
Yes,
Jacob
but-
Murphy coming down and Trippier playing almost like a right
Exactly.
centre back.
That was
They
what
do
they
that-
actually
they
did.
do that
They
a
do
lot
that
of the time.
But I don't get the positioning of Tonali and Gumarães. Why are they so close to each other like that without the ball? One of them obviously should be within this channel. One of them should be within that channel.
So what they used to do, what they did against Arsenal at least was, it was Fabien Schär who usually pushes up. I think that's the usual thing. Sometimes he pushes up, maybe man marks
From
into the-
centre back.
Yes.
But this is from open play. This ball was built from the back. So when I roll this, you will see that,
So you see, Schär kind of went a bit close to him, but
Closer.
it was not quick enough.
yes,
The move developed really quickly.
really quickly. And look at where he picked up the ball. But look, Nketiah, I think the goal is not about the pass. It's about the first touch.
Ah, it was so good.
It's about the first touch. You see,
He could easily have been offside in this sequence too.
once he outweighted that, Mamouche knew that Newcastle had
Look,
bodies.
because Schär moves
see?
away, look at the space.
Look, they had bodies. But look, the touch from the left foot,
Yep.
one touch, 2 control away from the defender. Bam, and then he gave the goalkeeper the eye, thinking that he would go
Yep,
for the
far
far
post.
post, and then he
The
just
first
nicked
touch
it.
just wrong-footed the defender.
Everybody. And for me,
Yep.
you see, he's come in very high, over 70 million pounds, isn't it?
There's a lot of press. He didn't look like a man under pressure at all.
He's expressed himself.
Yeah.
This is how you build a team if you are struggling. So Man City are struggling. Pep goes into the market in January, spend close to 200 million pounds.
Says this is what I need to
This
fix.
is what Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Gary Neville should be telling Sir Jim Ratcliffe to be doing. And don't sit there and be commenting about Amorim, that United need to win games. You win games with these players, they've shown that over the years they are not up to it. So that was the second goal. And then we go in for
Third goal.
Mamouche's third goal. Charlie, all his goals were absolutely brilliant too. And then this is, for once, Silvinho showed that if you are
A winger.
if you are a winger, you need to add variation to your game. Look at the Newcastle players. Look at them. They all thought that definitely he will
Cut inside.
he will cut inside onto his left foot. So look at, that's what Hall,
Yeah.
the man, the
Lewis
Newcastle,
Hall, yeah.
Lewis Hall. Look at him. He was more or less playing to
Waiting,
force him to go
come
in.
inside.
But Silvino saw that, and he decided that he will not do that. So look at that. You see, he's trying to usher in, but look at the pace, the change in direction. And what
Take
did
it outside
what
and then
did
cross
what,
with your right.
what did the young man do? Mamouche, the goal scorer. Again, if you are a young striker out there, you are told that return the ball back to where it came from. So this is Mamouche back into
But
the
coach,
again.
Look at the marking in there.
Again, that's what I was coming to. Again,
So
they,
much
they are
space.
playing with 3 midfielders, 3 good workaholic midfielders. This is Mamouche, the goal scorer. Per the formation, His movement always starts from somewhere
Out on the
here.
wings, yep.
And he's coming in. Once he's coming in, one of the, Tonali, Gomaresh, or Willock, one of them should see and pick him up.
I think it should be Tonali because Tonali was
He's
playing
on the right.
I think Willock was playing on the left and Gumaresh in the
One
middle.
of them will have to pick him up. And listen, on this move, I blame Tonali and Gumaresh. Gumaresh, this is obviously your position in front of the arc. That is where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
The ball went out wide. You position yourself. As to how he's virtually passive and not active in the move, he's the best to explain.
And you know, I want to say something about Gumaresh. This is why I don't think if a top team buys him, they should play him as a number 6.
I think I agree with you.
Because the way he plays in Newcastle, even though it's like he's playing number 6, he has a lot of freedom to roam and he
Because
doesn't
he has
sit.
equally industrious players around him.
He plays more like a number 8. So if a lot of people see him as a number 6, if you play for a top team and you are sleeping like this as a number, because Rodri wouldn't sleep like this.
Not at all. He will always be there.
Partey doesn't sleep like this.
And I've mentioned this. I think that one of the things that hurt Newcastle in this game was the absence of Joelinton. Replacing Willock with Joelinton in that midfield took a lot away. And Nico Gonzalez, the new Man City guy, look,
he was very physical. He
literally did nothing but tackle in the game. It looked like he was not interested in doing anything. So he was just chasing after balls.
He passed very well. I think he
completed. I was impressed with his passes.
97%.
I was impressed with his passes where he needed to
run
be
after
simple.
the ball, get the tackle, move it on.
And you know, that's actually why I actually thought City would lose because I didn't expect him to play. Because remember he had been injured. So I thought that he won't be back. So which is also why I expected Real Madrid to beat them because there's no physicality in their midfield. But this is a very industrious guy, very physical guy.
Very.
La Masia trained number 6.
I loved him. To be honest,
very good
I expected that once
him.
he was in the midfield, they would play okay, but I didn't expect him to play today. So when I saw he was in the lineup, my whole idea that Newcastle are going to win this game easily, I was now thinking, what can he add to the game?
And he was absolutely superb.
He was
I think the fourth goal was a header and then knocked it, so we'll not dwell so much about that. But look, I'm happy for the Egyptian. Like the commentator said, there's another
Egyptian king in the league.
Yeah, the next AFCON, we have to be very scared. The other countries have to be scared.
I remember, in fact,
Mamouche gave us problems in the AFCON.
I remember him against Ghana. He completely took Gideon Mensah to the cleanest.
He gave us a lot of problems.
It was
these
one
are
of those
top players. Yeah. These are top players, and these are the teams you have to beat if you want to qualify to the World Cup.
He looked so much at ease.
Keep Otuado. What is he going to be coaching with this?
Coach, we beg.
I'm telling you.
Let's free him.
Look, the Otumfo have said it. Otumfo, the greatest skin in this land. I'm a Ghana man. I see the Otumfo as the greatest skin in Ghana.
You mean when the great king speaks?
When he speaks, Honorable Kofi Adams, you better go and infect the thing quick.
Let's give him a break. We'll come to
Otuado.
We'll come to him.
I'm on him until he's fired. You think we are joking with the Black Stars?
Let's take a break here on Scorecard. When we come back, we have more highlights for you on the show. Stay with us. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let's get into some messages before we get to our next batch of highlights. So this one here says, hi guys, good evening. Is this the same Colwill that Jurgen Klopp wanted to bring to Liverpool last season? I think we've dodged not a bullet, but a missile. Hoping to take the 3 points at Villa Park come Wednesday and put these teams in the trash bin on Sunday. Able Minister from Cove City with that one. Solomon from Sege in Adan says that, good evening guys. What's happening to my Chelsea team? Well, I'm sure you've been watching them. You have a good idea. Sir Aristo from Sefibekwai says that City can still cause a surprise in the league by lifting the trophy. Congrats to Pep and his team, he says, we need 8 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses, and the league is for us. You never walk alone. That's Sally Al-Hassan from Brekum with that one.
He came by this calculation.
He's looked at the difference between they and Arsenal.
He has calculated the games you win.
If they lose 2, and they...
yeah, that is mathematics already, Charlie.
But if Arsenal were to win all, and they lose 2 and draw, Arsenal will take them.
This one here said, this Opare George, watching from Boake. Wow, he says it's Opare Jorge. I don't know if it's Jorge or George. I don't know what that is. Watching from Boake in Cote d'Ivoire. Congrats to my darling club Liverpool for winning the game for us. Big shout outs to the people in Boake and tell them to keep watching the show and texting us. Charlie Dave says that not the best weekend with Chelsea losing. Real Madrid only managing a draw. Maresca needs to step up or face the sack immediately. Amorim's side losing today actually saved my weekend. Nimley's United is sinking deep and will continue to sink deeper until Nimley himself takes up the job. I like that. Anyway, this one says, I vehemently disagree with coach that Arsenal will not win the league. Arsenal will win the league, trust me. Liverpool will surely drop points at some stage. Okay.
This one says that the question is not whether Liverpool drop points. Will your team take advantage of it?
That's the truth. This one says, this is your boy Abonkele from Nugua. I 100% agree with Coach and Susu that Kowo is below average and has been poor compared to the hype that he's been getting, that he's the next John Terry. He should be sold to Brighton and Vega must be called back from loan. Roxanne from Medina says, Ten Hag tweaked and won 2 trophies. How is that an end to him? Him not being there is more than tweaking. Amorim has to tweak to buy some time at Man United or he'll be losing games and will be losing points.
I want to respond to that. You see, I think sometimes you can win a trophy, but winning a trophy is not everything. You have to look at the process, the performance of the team.
A trophy can actually paper over your problems.
And that's exactly...
But if you've gone close to 12, 13 years without, 10, 11 years without winning the trophy, you need a culture. You need a reset.
Yeah, but you see, even...
Not to play... No, the league is what United should be aiming at, not the Carabao Cup.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Even in Ten Hag's case, they should have sacked him based on the performances of last season. You can argue about the injuries and whatever, but Man U's performance in the league was not Manchester United standard. And considering that he had finished 3rd the season before, to come and finish, they finished what, 8th?
Yeah, I think 8th or 9th or so.
You can't do that. Which, if you think about it, if you hadn't won the FA Cup, you would have been sacked.
True.
Very simply. And everyone would have said, okay, about it. But you win the FA Cup, now people are like, oh, give him another chance. And they gave him the chance and they still sacked him. And that's actually what has messed up the season. Because if they had sacked him,
they should have started the season with a new coach.
They would have started on a new slate and done what they needed to do. So I don't think that trophy winning thing sometimes is a bit overplayed.
It is.
When you have a season where you are doing poorly the whole season and you are winning some select games.
That actually tells you exactly where you are. Is the league.
True.
If you win those cup,
even the Champions League,
because a team can be struggling in the Championship or League One and go all the way to the FA Cup final.
Even the Champions League,
it doesn't,
because of matchups. You can tactically. We saw that Chelsea team that won the Champions League. We saw them in the league, and we saw what they did in the Champions League.
We saw Sevilla struggle for years in La Liga and always do well or win the Europa League.
Yeah.
I mean, planning for 7 or 8 games is not...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like planning for a league. Anyway, let's move it on to another country. Let's go to Spain and let's go to Real Madrid Football Club. They did not have the best of times when they were up against Osasuna. Jude Bellingham saw red because he said some unpalatable things to the referee. He says that the referee misinterpreted his words. I'm not even sure where that lies, but let's get the highlights of that game. Real Madrid Football Club doing the business now. Coach, let me take your
I just want to address something before we go, just about the red card. I think a lot of people, there's some controversy about the red card, but the truth is, if you use certain language on the pitch, it can be a red card. It can be to another player. It can be to the crowd. It's in the rules. So if the referee feels that you've used language he's not happy with, he can send you off. It's just that referees don't always do it, but it's in the rules. So if the referee decides to apply the rule today, you can't come and say that it doesn't. Is the rules are the rules, so please. The referee did the right thing.
Yeah,
he used profanity and he got a red card. So let's end it.
No excuse there.
For me, I was very disappointed in him because he had talked back at the referee. If you watch the multiple sequences, you move away from that. You are leading the game.
I'm a big fan of referees clamping down on that type of behavior.
Such behavior. So for me, it was a red card as to whether the F word is something that we shouldn't encourage at all in football. So he deserves it. He got sent off, that is it.
On the footballing side of things, that literally cost them the game.
Of course, you must be, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you have to be worried. Because at a point they had a 7-8 point lead. Now, Atletico
was 10 points.
Yeah, at a point it was even 10 points. All those advantages are gone.
Disappeared.
Barcelona will be playing tomorrow. If they win...
Who are Barcelona playing?
I think Vallecano or
Rayo
something.
Vallecano.
If they win, I think they go top or they go joint top.
Yeah.
And that is going to make the La Liga very, very...
Is there another El Clasico?
There is.
Yeah,
the Clasico is like almost the end of the season.
Yes, we
I
talked
think
about
the
it's
third
about
game to the
I
end.
think it's game week 34, 35.
Yes, and
crazy.
if you are Real Madrid, you don't want that game to decide your fate, especially if you look at the way
Lost two
Barcelona have
Clásicos
handled.
already.
Yeah, in 2 Clásicos, you've considered 10 goals already. You don't want that to be the match that determines. But look, there's still everything to play for. We've seen Barcelona drop points where we least expect them to. Atletico Madrid, who had a wonderful form, all of a sudden they themselves
And even then,
and
they got to early
drew-
red
they drew
card.
this
They
week.
got a
Yeah,
red card in
they
the
got a red
7th
card.
minute.
And
So
they drew.
difficult game. But they even came back because they went down. They forced and go ahead.
Let's get the highlights of that Atletico game. They were up against Celta Vigo, played out a 1-1 draw. Let's check that out. We always ask for a competitive La Liga season. We have one on our hands. Who's your money on?
Oh, when I think Barcelona. The reason I say that is when they had their drop-off, we talk about young teams having their drop-off. They had their drop-off, and the other teams didn't push on and build up a gap. So for me, knowing that their form will go up and down, but they have ridden their bad period. The other teams might also have bad periods, because I think Real Madrid, there's a lot of injuries in their team. And it looks like they are starting to have discipline issues with some of their better players. We see Vinicius have his issues. It's looking like Bellingham is also picking up the issues. That's not a good position to be in. So I like the look of Barca. And I think Atleti are good.
Yeah.
But I think Barca just have a better squad, which is why I give them the advantage. But Atleti are also very good. But for sure, I thought when Real Madrid took that 10-point lead, they would see it out, but they've let it go. So once you've let that lead go, you've given Barca the momentum again. Because that's the thing, the league is about momentum.
Always is.
So when you are now on the back foot, like, hey, we've let these people come back, doubt creeps in. And we all know Real Madrid, when the Champions League comes around, they might think to themselves, which do we want more, the league or the Champions League? And they'll choose the Champions League every time. And that might lead to worst performances in the league.
Real Madrid fans are drunk on the Champions League and they want a league title. They
But
want
they
some
won the
titles
league
now.
last year.
They are still the defending champions.
They
Look,
are.
I think it will still. I think we must still have some.
And I would say the Clasico coming up doesn't help
Because
them.
Barcelona
Barca
has
have
to
the-
play. Real Madrid, they have to play Atletico.
Have they played?
Yeah, they have to go to Atletico. They lost to Atletico.
Yeah.
So they have to go to. So there's still that triangular
A lot of
battle.
yeah.
Look, but I still do believe with the experience Real have got, I predicted that they'll win the league. And the Barcelona team made up of a lot of young boys.
Yeah.
If they can win it, I will be extremely happy. I support Barcelona in Spain. So for
But
me,
you think even with the injuries, Real Madrid can do it? Because their defense is looking very patchy.
And the Champions League is about to pile on them right
exactly. But Barcelona too are also in the Champions League, so we have
But
to.
they
look for
avoided
them.
the playoff round. So those two
now.
extra games.
2 extra games less.
It counts. It counts. It counts. Scientifically, it counts.
Well, that's it from us here. Let me read a couple more messages before we go. Just one more here. This one says, from Victor from Ogbojo. He says, I can feel your frustration, coach. United's team, low work rate, low creativity, and it says the work rate is low and creativity is missing. It's looking like a long rebuild ahead.
Yeah.
You'll never walk alone. I pick it da. So I think it's a Liverpool fan sending in this particular message. Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you very much, Susu. Thank you to all those of you who sent us messages and tuned in to the show. Same time next week, Scorecard will be back on your screens.